If you're beating people over the head with the law, that's not how it was intended. The law was given to us to instruct. That's why I've come to a place to where, if a person wants to reject or not deal with it, okay. Because that's between you and the Almighty. My job is simply to preach the good news. If you reject that, then that's, I've done my job. It's not my job to try to shove it down your throat. You get this? And so people sometimes, they want to debate. They want to argue. It's like, I don't have time to argue with you. I don't have time to debate with you. Either you believe that or you don't believe it. If you don't believe it and it came from me, then maybe I'm not the person that is going to bring it to you. Maybe somebody else has to bring it to you. I've given it to you. I've planted or I've watered, but it's he who gives the increase. And so Yeshua would say, if you go into a place and they don't receive you, then shake the dust and keep it moving. Don't get bogged down in debating and arguing and fussing and fighting with people who, no matter how convincing you may think you are, understand that some people aren't receiving certain things because it may not be their time to receive it. I mean, you think about you. People brought stuff to us, and I know people brought this stuff to me, and I rejected it flat out. I was taught to reject certain things, you see. But when the Almighty starts dealing with you on something, it's like I can ignore that person, and I could tell that person where to go. But when he starts dealing with you on some things, it's like, how you gonna get away from that? And some of you heard me when I talked about this book about Sunday is not the Sabbath, which is now in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, in 5 different languages, that when he asked me, why did I go to church on Sunday? It's like, what do you do with that question? Why do you go to church on Sunday? But that's the point. When he starts dealing with you on things, then now it's time. Yes, other people can try to bring things to you, and it may not be time. Because Father, he's already said in his word that he doesn't put more on us than we can handle. But we also know that there comes a place and a point where people just flat out reject knowledge. They just reject it. It's no matter how you get it to them. But see, it's not my place to judge a person who is rejected it. My job is to bring it, to share it, and then they'll do with it. But understand, if you've brought it from him to them, then there is a deposit that has been made. I was taught in evangelism that, you got to convince people to come to Jesus. And it's like, okay, well, where is that at in the Bible? That's what I was taught in my training, is that you got to maneuver a person to where they make a confession of faith in Jesus Christ, and then you get them to the baptismal pool, you baptize them, and then you put their name on the membership roll, you see. But any of you who've done evangelism, you know as well as I do, a person come to faith in Messiah, in Jesus Christ today, and then next week you can't find them. It's not my job to save nobody. My job is to preach the gospel, to take the good news. That's all of our jobs. Yeshua never told us to go out and save people. He told us to go out and make disciples. But somehow it got to going out getting people saved. No, he saves. If we bring the true gospel of the kingdom, faith cometh by hearing, and hearing by the word of the Almighty, and that's what brings salvation. Consequently, faith cometh by hearing, brothers and sisters. So our job is to give people him, not us. It's not about giving them my doctrine or my belief system or my statements of faith. It's about giving them what he gives me to give them. That's exactly what Yeshua did to his disciples, and he said, you go out and do the same thing. You teach them what I taught you.
For more information, visit www.arthurbaileyministries.com or call 888-899-1479. House of Israel International Services is made possible through financial contributions from brothers and sisters like you. Thank you.